Hello there, I'm Helen Jackson and I'm about to make you my favourite Asian beef salad. Now everyone has a dinner party dish that they pull out that they know is going to work, that they can cook anytime and it's perfect. The flavours are great, everyone talks. Well, this one is mine. Let's run through the ingredients. I've got a beautiful piece of beef sitting here, piece of eye fillet. Now I have got, I think, just over 1 kilo and I'm only going to serve that to 4 to 5 people. You may think I'm being really generous with the meat, but once you taste the salad, you'll realize you need lots of it. Okay, beside me I've toasted some cashew nuts. They're just sitting here ready to go. You could also use peanuts if you like. Some crispy noodles, mesclun salad, oil, fresh mint from the garden, some palm sugar, we'll talk more about that later, wasabi sauce, limes, beautiful green limes, fish sauce, sesame oil, sweet chili sauce, soy sauce, and of course the coriander and the basil. Okay, let's get started. What I'm going to do is, first off, I'm just going to pop the meat onto this roasting tray. Then I am going to get my wasabi sauce. Now, if you're anything like me, I'm not very good with sushi with wasabi. It goes straight up my nose, my eye stream. I don't like it. But on the beef, it really is gorgeous. And as you can see, I put loads on. Now, there's probably about a tablespoon going on to that. And it mellows when it cooks. You're going to get a lovely wasabi flavour, but it does mellow. And the other funny thing that you may not know is that wasabi is actually related to horseradish, and of course we all have horseradish with beef, so why not have wasabi? I'm going to put a bit of soy over that as well, and no, I'm not going to leave that great big drill of wasabi lying down the middle of my beef. A little bit of sesame oil. Now when I say a little bit, with sesame oil, less is more. It's a beautiful flavour, but it's also a very intense flavour, so you don't want to use too much. Now see, I'm just going to rub that wasabi into the beef. And yes, it is a generous coating, but as I said, believe you me, it will tone down once it cooks, because I don't like having my sinuses cleared by my food. Okay, we'll just make sure we've got some oil underneath there so it's not going to stick. Okay, perfect. I'll just wipe my hands. Right, now this is into the oven, 20 minutes, 225 degrees, so a really good hot oven, which I've got preheated, and we're going quite high up, so on the top third of the oven, and 20 minutes. Not a second more, not a second less, 20 minutes, that's all it takes for perfect medium rare beef. Okay, now salad dressing. What we're going to do is make it in a mortar and pestle. Now I'm not assuming that everyone's got one of these at home, but if you haven't, that's fine. Just start chopping things, or you can mix it in a little bowl of a food processor, whatever you like. I do like a mortar and pestle. Actually, I'll leave that to the side for the second. First off, I'm going to chop off a piece of palm sugar. Now, palm sugar is very easily found at Asian grocery stores, and not that easy to cut. It gives a lovely flavour and a sweetness without being that really piercing sweetness that sugar will give. But if you can't find palm sugar, then just use brown sugar. So I'll drop some of that into the mortar and pestle to start with, and I'm going to add some mint leaves. Now I put loads of mint leaves into this because I love the flavour. I think mint and beef work really, really well together. And we're going to put in roughly about, well, at least 1 tablespoon, possibly more than that. And each time I make this, I probably make it a little bit different, but if you stick to the recipe to start with, and then you'll be able to work out which way you want to go, which flavours you like best, and like all good recipes, it kind of morphs into being your own after a while. Okay, some mint into there, beautiful limes, and I'm just going to wipe off my blade, chop the lime, look at that for gorgeous, and my favourite little gadget, my Mexican lime press, which you put the lime in, simply squeeze, and all the juice comes out. And with limes often being really expensive, it's a great way of using the whole lime and not ending up with a lot left over. So squeeze that into here. Okay, so we've got sugar, we've got the acid of the lime, we've got some mint in there. Now I'm just going to give this a little bit of a bash just to break up that sugar. So let's mix all that in together. Now, some fish sauce into here as well. Quite often I hear people saying, oh, I don't like fish sauce, but honestly, it's in so much food. If you didn't know there was fish sauce in there, if you didn't see it going in, you really wouldn't taste it. It just gives, I think, a lovely depth of flavour as opposed to a fishy flavour. Now I've got some sweet chili sauce going into here as well. Sesame oil, once again, less is more, so a little bit of sesame oil, and then we're going to top it up with a very plain oil like a peanut oil. So we're just going to put that in, then we're going to mix the whole lot together and give it a good grind. The mint leaves can still be chunky. I like food with chunk in it. We've got teeth for chewing, so our food should have discernible pieces in it. Now, the only way to know whether this tastes good is to actually taste it. Yep, I'm just going to put a little bit more sweet chilli sauce into that. And possibly another good slosh of fish sauce. Okay. Perfect. Yum. Love it. Okay, what I'm going to do now is clear a little space here and bring in our platter. See, it's so easy. It's all made in minutes. The beef's, by the time the beef's cooked, you're completely ready to go. There's no stressing out. It's all very easy. I've got a bag of mesclun here, and it's just regular salad mesclun that you buy at your greengrocer. Flick that over. And really you can add as much salad to this as you like. Now the other thing that's really important is loads and loads and loads of fresh basil, which we're just going, and I'm really not going to do much to this at all. I'm just going to perhaps tear the leaves in half. Now, nuts into here. And the very last thing to do is we're going to put the crispy noodles in, but because they'll go soggy if you put them in ahead of time, don't put them in yet. Just leave the salad sitting like this. And once our beeper goes, we'll get our meat out of the oven, put the noodles on, the meat on, and the dressing. While I'm waiting though, I'm going to do what all good cooks do and have a little glass of wine. Right, here's our beef. It's rested, had 10 minutes resting. I'm just going to carefully lift it off there onto a board. There. Okay, now let's have a look at what it looks like. Just going to do it with some nice, not too thin slices, kind of, what are they? Centimetre, half a centimetre to a centimetre thick. Now I like my meat medium rare, and that's what I consider this to be. In the thickest parts it'll be rarer than in the others, but if you want it more cooked, obviously just leave it in for another 5 minutes or so. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Mop that up. Okay, we'll just leave that sitting there. Now, onto the salad. We'll pull that around a bit. Actually, we'll pop the beef off to the side. We don't need to look at that. We'll pull that in. Now, I've got the crispy noodles. We're ready for those. Make sure you don't make a mistake and buy the flavoured ones. You need plain, but beautiful crunch and munch. I love food with texture, and having crispy noodles and nuts in this certainly does it. The other thing too, if you wanted to extend it out, put more vegetables in, maybe put some peelings of cucumber, you know, get the veggie peeler and do some long curls of cucumber. Bean sprouts will be fabulous in here as well, or you can just keep it simple as mine is. Okay. The noodles are in. Now we're just going to, yum, this is delicious. Every time I think I'm going to be a vegetarian, I cook this dish and remind myself I certainly couldn't be. Now, all we're going to do is I've transferred the dressing from the mortar into the jug, and we've got that all combined there. And now, one little tip, once you put your dressing over, because of the acid that's in the limes, your meat can go quite grey and look like it's overcooked. So if you want it to look pink and gorgeous, take it to the table like this, bring your dressing in a beautiful jug if you want to, and then drizzle it over. And that way, your guests will know that you have cooked the beef absolutely perfectly, and that it is, and that if any colour change happens, it will change in front of their eyes, not the way they saw it. There we are. Doesn't that look delicious? Your Asian beef salad.